Hello, this is Dr. Victoria Skirbo. I'm going to do a card reading on the energy of August 2018, and I am going to specify it to the United States of America, only because that's where I live. No offense to any place else. We all have our own problems, right? And we all have our own problems in various levels of intensity. Nationalistically, I think everybody is going through some sort of identity crisis. And one of the things about the energy of Leo, which is what the eclipse is in this month, is that Leo really is about kind of taking dominion over yourself. Like, who are you? What do you stand for? That kind of thing. Does the heart lead the way? And so we're sort of all being required to examine our hearts, as it were. So I'm just finishing up shuffling here. I'm going to use the tarot of the Illuminati tarot. One second, let me show you the box. This is a beautiful deck. A lot of the images are very similar in theme and such to the Rider-Waite deck, which is the deck that most people start with. And so I like it in that respect, but I also like it because it's so beautifully done. And if we're talking about August and we're talking about Leo, perhaps it needs to have a little flourish, right? A flourish of drama and beauty and just, majesty. And so I chose these cards to do the month of August. So let me cut them. Okay, I'll do a Celtic cross. All right. Okay. The first card is the Prince of Pentacles. Okay. The Prince of Pentacles is, and I'll pull it back a little. That light is from my camera, of course, but Prince of Pentacles is the energy of waiting. The work has been done, the fields have been plowed, the fields have been seeded, and now it's time for us to wait to see what's going to grow. Okay, so we're in kind of a state of waiting, which kind of goes along with the fact that there are so many retrograde cycles through the month of August. Our challenge. Okay, and so this is very interesting. Our challenge has to do with being the sense of feeling like we're imprisoned. Okay, this woman is tied up. She's blindfolded. She has swords all around her. And yet the swords are not touching her. She's not bleeding in any way. What she is doing, however, is that she is following the path of her intuition. Let me just make sure. She's actually following the path of water. Water is your feeling nature, right? And so she can't see where she's going. She's feeling her way through the situation using her feet. In astrology, feet is connected to Pisces. Pisces is connected to understanding. And so we are walking, through a veritable minefield, the challenge, right, of all this angry energy, all these mental swords, everybody wanting to hurt everybody else. And there we are with our hands tied behind our back and our blindfolds over our eyes. How do we find the light? How do we find the safety? How do we find the way out? We find the way out by following our feelings. We find the way out by using our intuition. And we will escape, because the mind creates a prison. And one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to escape the prison of the mind, the conditionings of the mind. What's at the root of this? Oh, I love this. This just makes me happy. It's at the root of this card is the Sun card. What's interesting is last month when I did July, the card for July was the Moon card, and it actually came up in the reading. And now here we have the Sun card, which is the card associated with this month, coming up. And I think I'm going to let the camera do that. That's pretty cool, right? As I speak. And so the root of this is that realization, is that rebirth, is the planting the seeds for a new way of being. We have the child on the white horse. What the white horse, is the idea of purity. All the colors of the rainbow put together create the white, right? So it's about holism. It's about being holistic. And then the child, of course, is indicative of something new, something being born, something beautiful, something pure. And that's what's being born this month. That's at the root of everything. Okay? But we have all these swords that we need to get through. The past, we have the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups can be an energy that's fatherly, but that might have an anger problem, doesn't express their feelings, stuffs their feelings to a certain extent so that they can get the work done that's necessary. Very family oriented though, so there's a lot of love here, but there can be issues of anger. There can be the energy of the male not really being able to work within the emotional realm. Like how does the man move forward on an emotional level and still keep a certain amount of dignity and dominion over his life? Okay, how do you not get out of control? And out of control emotions for men is usually anger, right? That's almost like, oh well, he's a guy, he's mad, right? That's and not only is it expected, but it's just see the movies. All the movies are about explosions and all this yang energy just causing destruction. So that's the past. Thank goodness. What's in the sky? The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. The Ace of Swords is action, taking action. And by taking one action, you're cutting away. In other words, when you take an action, there's always something that you didn't do through the choice, right? And so what stands above us, what's in the heavens, is choice and action. What action are you going to take? It's about something new, the focused mind. Okay? All right. Powerful cards, I must say. Okay. This is the immediate future. So this is pretty much the energy we're going to be moving through. This is the Devil card. And the Devil card is the card associated with being imprisoned by matter, being imprisoned by greed, being imprisoned by our inability to see that there's something beyond the quote-unquote real world, the three-dimensional world, the world that's in front of our face. These two people are imprisoned. They have chains around their necks. In this deck, let's see, do they have chains around their necks? Okay, in this deck, they have chains around their neck and they have chains around their hands. In the Rider-Waite deck, the chains are loose around their neck. And if they wanted to, there's no chains on their hands. They could just take the chains off. So this is about being chained to matter, being chained to negative forces. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of negative forces out there trying to keep us separate from our light. Okay, so there is a battle going on. There is a battle. Okay, how other people see it. Now this is for the United States, so we can certainly sense the dark energy and the energy of greed and the energy of profit over people. Very, very heavy in the air in the United States, right? And so that is something we're going to be looking at. How other people see it. This is the Hierophant. So perhaps other countries see, it's a very traditional card. It's about tradition. It's also about listening to your inner voice, okay? And so I think how other people might see us through this period is that we're trying to hold on to the past. We're trying to hold on to the traditions of the past. And then there's some of us are listening to our inner wisdom. Okay, so not everybody's doing that, but and then there are those who are listening to that still small voice within and and taking action and living their life from that place. The domestic situation. Oh, I love this. This is the Empress. And so the domestic situation, having the Empress there, is the energy of the mother. It's the energy of the feminine. It's the energy of your mother, you being a mother, your motherliness, no matter what sex you are. It has to do with nurturing. And so what needs to occur for us is that we need to nurture ourselves. We need to respect the feminine. We need to respect the goddess. The Empress is sitting in a garden. We need to sit in the garden. We need to connect with nature and the beauty of nature, because that's where we're going to get our power from. We're not going to get our power from the halls of large institutions and places of power, quote unquote. The only reason that these people have power is because of the bounty of Mother Earth. Now it's time to give due who deserves due, and that is the mother. Hopes and fears. The Six of Cups. This is nostalgia. This is looking back at the past with somewhat of rose-colored glasses. And so there are some of us who wish to go back to the past, where we felt safe, where we felt like we were had the time to play like children, and we had somebody watching over us. There's a man in the background watching over these two children with all the beautiful flowers in the garden. And so there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong for wanting that. Now, not everybody's childhood had that experience, and so for others, going back to the memories of childhood is a fear. But what this says is that what's coming up for us is all these issues around nurturing and fear and how we were raised and the conditionings that we underwent and how they have worked against us, or in some cases worked for us, because again, not everybody has had a negative experience with that. It sort of depends on who raised you. Okay. And the outcome card is the Two of Cups. This is the love card. The Two of Cups is about two people who are on equal footing with each other. Two people who have transcended the carnal love. Not that they haven't partaken in the carnal love, but they've transcended it and brought it to a higher spiritual place. And what's interesting is that there is let me see here. There's a caduceus here. This is the Kundalini energy that has risen up. Okay? And then generally there's the Kundalini energy and there's wings, right? Symbolic of the awakening of the third eye. But here we have a lion's head, which is interesting, with the fact that the eclipse is in Leo. Now I'm just going to pull some cards and see if within 3 cards I can pull a major arcana card to see if we can round out. Okay, here we go. This is the Tower. And so there will be a breakdown. There will be a downfall. The Tower card can be scary, but really what it's here to do is to show us who we are, to remind us that these false personas that we create around ourselves, our ideals, our we're this, we're that, I believe this, I believe that, are simply layers to the onion. And what lies within is our connection to love and our connection to Source. And no matter what side of the aisle that you work from, okay, whether you're super liberal or you're super conservative or somewhere in the middle, it doesn't really matter. What matters is love. What matters is what connects us. And sometimes we need these tower experiences just to remind us. And so we have to be careful. You know, already we have a lot of fires in the United States. We have floods. We have all kinds of things like that. This is the lightning struck tower. This is spirit coming down and blowing our crowns open so that we can receive the wisdom from the higher vibrational beings, our higher self, our gods, our such. So this is another form of awakening. So we will have an awakening. And then I'm just going to look at the bottom of the deck here. And we have the High Priestess. Okay, the High Priestess is a feminine energy. It's a feminine power. It's the power of observation. It's connected with the moon. Okay, the moon is part of the eclipse picture, right? The moon eclipses the sun. It's about knowing. It's about intuition. And it's about sort of keeping silent. And so there's an observatory, there's an observing kind of energy, holding the space for the things to happen, holding the space so that the best possible things can, with the least amount of pain perhaps. And so if you really want to do something for yourself and others this month, you want to hold that space. You want to hold that space of power. You want to hold that space of balance, okay? While we move through, quite frankly, in this country, perhaps a very dark period before we come to the place of the light and realize that love is the greatest power anywhere in this universe, anyway. Okay, well, I hope you found that helpful. It's very, very powerful cards, very inspiring, a little scary, but nothing that we can't do. Stay in your heart, walk through nature, do the things that strengthen you, utilize your intuition to get out of sticky situations. This is the beginning of the new earth. Even though we look around and we go, oh, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily look like that. Know in your heart that this is the beginning. This is the turning point. And we are living it, and we are part of it, and we're here for a reason, and we chose to be here now. There are a lot of souls on the planet right now. A lot. For a reason. We're moving up a level, people. Stay centered in your heart. That's all I'm going to say for that. Have a great month. I'll do this again for September. We'll see what those cards say. If you enjoy this card reading, if you enjoy my videos, please like my channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And contact me at theseedsoftransformation.com. I'd love to do this for you as well. I can do card readings if that's what you like, if that's what you need, or I can do astrological and Kabbalistic evaluations of your name, your numbers, and your birth, and the day you were born. So, all right, I'll see you again next month. It's been a pleasure. Ciao.